Welcome to This is Fitness, the podcast for the bodybuilding and all things fitness, bringing you real life version of the fitness industry from people who've lived and breathed it. We explore new trends and serious topics while dispelling myths and calling out stupidity within the fitness industry. Jimmy and Chris offer their unique insight, delivered with healthy sarcasm. Let's crush those fitness goals together. This is Fitness. And now your hosts, Jimmy Sadek and Chris Thomas.
This is Fitness. I'm Chris Thomas. My boy Jimmy Sadek and I are going to take you through the next 45 minutes to an hour, and we're going to obviously recap on the events of the weekend with the IFBB Nationals. Obviously a big weekend for bodybuilding. Jimmy, how are you, my boy?
I'm good today.
Yeah?
Yep, today's been good. Just been enjoying this process of just trying new things each week, getting the show underway, and I'm excited to talk about nationals because it was a big weekend. It was a good weekend, and pretty exciting. Like the show the weekend before, the New South Wales show.
Sure.
Bodybuilding news.
Well, I know you did not go to Melbourne. I didn't go to Melbourne either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First
what
time
did you get up to on the weekend?
Yeah, first time I've missed nationals for a while. And obviously I just couldn't get anyone to look after my dogs. Simple as that. And then that grand final weekend being down there probably wasn't the greatest weekend to be going there as well. No disrespect, but I managed it from the distance like we always do. And anyone who's had athletes that they've coached them overseas, you learn how to deal with these things from afar as well. So it's not really a big hindrance.
I didn't even check the flights because I wasn't going to go from the get-go. But when you brought that to my attention, I was like, oh, it's a bit rough. There are, I don't know, I know you got these venues and stuff in advance, but you kind of know when the footy weekend's on.
Yeah, flights were pretty huge. Just for my athletes that went down there. I mean, when you're sort of spending, $1,200 return to go to Melbourne, I mean, seriously, you can go overseas for that much. So, I mean, things like that are, it's a bit. But in saying that, it's a sign of the times in this country. We won't get into that anyway, man. We won't be negative about stupidity of this country.
I do feel sorry for the competitors because we all know at the pointy end of the season around the comp day, shit gets expensive and prices escalate fast.
Yeah.
So just to throw in those extra costs and whatever, it would have been a little bit bittersweet.
Yeah.
Especially if you come away with not the result that you wanted.
Yeah, that too. Oh dear. It's hard not being there though, because I mean it's such a big thing. Like, and the other thing too, you and I both, mate, being competitors, right? I mean, they call it season C now, but like it's forever season B for us, right? We've always taken the piss many a time of people who used to win season A shows and say they weren't Australian titles and things like that. And because season B, October, was always the national show. So, this one's got, it's a bit special. This one always has been, as I said, as a purist, but, it didn't disappoint. It was a pretty big show. The men's look really good. They all look really good, to be honest. So, yeah.
I remember because it used to be the Australasia season A.
Correct.
Then it was a national season B. That was an easy one for the people that stuck to the nationals to put shit on the Australasia champions, yeah. Until Tony brought the Arnold to that season A show.
Correct.
Then the Arnold's got a bit of prestige, like would you rather win an Arnold and meet Arnold?
Yeah.
Or go win a national title? Like it's a bit like this now.
Yeah.
But like forever, I'd prefer, even though I've never had one, I'd prefer an IFBB Australian title.
Yeah.
For sure. But the quality compared to season A this year at season C was 100% better.
Yeah, it was a strong show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all round actually.
Was there any highlights? Actually, I will touch on, and I know I'm skipping forward, but on episode 1, you mentioned the pro bodybuilder now who won his pro card. Not saying you didn't say he's going to win, but you picked him out from the crowd and said, "Watch this one; he's going to be special." So, I'll give you that for picking the pro card winner for sure.
Thank you. Look, I've seen him compete a couple of times. Right, it's a very, very complete physique. That's the thing you can't deny. And I think the first time we saw him, maybe a couple of years ago, it was a great physique. He probably just wasn't quite tight enough or something, and then he improved. And just looking at the photos leading up to this, he'd put some muscle on, and I mean, that type of structure and shape's always going to be hard to get around. There's not a lot of weaknesses in it. So I'm not going to say I absolutely called it, but I did say, hey, don't look past this bloke. And that's what ended up happening. Yeah.
No,
that's Gabby Batson, by the way. Sorry, we do.
Congratulations to him anyway.
Yeah.
And he won it in Melbourne after he lose too. So
exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and then obviously we had the turnaround from Chris Abella the week before over Mike Pearson, and then Mike Pearson over Abella in the Nationals. So I mean, I wasn't there in person to see what the differences were, but
let's hold it. We'll hold it there. We'll touch on that. We'll get when we get up to it.
All right, done.
We'll start. I'm not going to go through physique. It's not our wheelhouse. I know, even though you coach a few of them, I'm just not interested. So
let's give this guy credit here, right? Chris. Simple reason being, they all deserve credit, but this guy here, it is a really nice physique. He's a really great poser. It's a great physique to look at. And to be honest, man, it was an each way bet the year before to win the pro card. It was really tight. So if there's some justice out there in that regard, him winning it was due course, in my opinion. So well done, man.
Look, he looked good. Logan coaches him, yeah.
He does, yeah.
He was in shape. He was in excuse me. He was in condition. I don't know. I don't know. With this category, like all I see is non-Australians winning it. like I know he's Australian. I don't mean it like that, but like you obviously know that just tells you Australians do not have the genetics for men's physique. I don't think whether their weights aren't a bit small enough, whether the structure's not there, but like we've got Asians, we've got the dark fellas, like they clean up. It's a
pretty strong Indian component, and like Pakistan. Well, that
Afghan
component, as well.
Yeah, I think Australians are more like the traditional Aussie boys, lean more towards classic because they can grow the mustache. So that makes it look classic, apparently.
Apparently so. That's just like that's kind of like as symbolic as walking around with socks on in the gym saying you're a deadlifter, right?
Yes.
Right. If you got a moustache, you do classic, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
What about if you've got a beard?
Then I think you're more like a wannabe powerlifter.
Right. And what about if you can't grow a beard properly but grow a beard?
Oh, you got the patches.
It looks like dirt, that type of one.
Oh, pedophile. You just a fucking creep. Shake your beard. Shake your fucking beard. Excuse me. All right. We have got, actually, I'll tell you what. The overall for the classic was fucking good.
Right.
Where is it? Top 3 overall. I'll find it and I'll find their names. There they are. Is that the one? No, that's the one. No, they haven't got a photo of the overall classic, but the winner was Josh Wilson won his pro card. And he came across stiff as fuck competition. I know he was up against Isaac and this guy we called backstage at New South Wales, Dennis Wolf. He looked like Dennis Wolf in the face and had fucking wide clavicles.
Right.
His name was Thomas Taylor. So
Right.
Thomas, Isaac, and Isaac, and Josh were in the overall, and I watched that on my TV, and that was close.
Right.
So that was a fun show to watch. Josh deserved it. He looked crapper at New South Wales and won that one as well. And I just think he tightened up. He tightened up, and he's got the moustache. So definitely a classic pro.
Awesome.
Let's go into the bodybuilding weights. All right. We have the Masters. We'll go juniors first. I know we've got the Masters here. That is the Masters.
Yeah, you got two. You got 40s, 50s, and 60s in Masters.
Oh, all right. So now I'm confused. Okay, let me go to the first one. All right, the first one was Masters plus 50. This is your division, Chris.
It is. Yep.
Damon Salakis beat Paul Cale. So I've looked. Damon's tight.
He's good.
He's got good. His legs are full.
Yeah.
Which legs you usually go when you're 30. He's kept his legs. His arms around. He's separated. He's still got his chest. His abs are well in. That's a good showing. I don't mind that at all.
So pretty much once you get to your 40s in bodybuilding, pretty much your hair and your legs go. That's the consensus, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. We have Masters 60 plus.
Yeah, we did.
Holy shit. Okay. Paul Cale won that.
Yep.
He beat out John. I got a question. If you're in the Masters plus 60 or 60 plus, can you go in the 40 plus?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway. And then we have.
Well, you should be able to, because if you're allowed to do, junior, novice, first time novice, open, right, then you should be able to do it the other way around.
All right. So we had those two Masters. Good. Okay. So the next category up, true novice. Lachlan Barsh won that. He's got a big rig too. He's in some good shape. I think this one will be the junior open. We're up to the lightweights.
It's big.
What's the lightweight? Is that under 70s?
Man, I don't know. I get confused with this stuff now because have they scrapped the under 70s or is lightweight just under 80s? Because it has to be because I don't know. Under 80s must be middleweight because 90s is light heavy. Then you got heavy. Then lightweight. So what's the story of Bobby Randall? Am I skipping across here? But did he decided to not do the show? Is that what happened or what?
I actually have no idea. I didn't see him I didn't see that category. I don't know what happened.
I know he's doing Vegas.
He must just be doing Vegas.
Well, he is doing Vegas, definitely, but maybe he decided just to sit it out and just do it only, maybe.
Yeah, well, because he qualified at the New South Wales show. I think that must have been what he was doing because if he's not in the top 3, he didn't do the show.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
So that's the category there. So
yep. Okay, so I just assumed Bobby didn't come first. But I don't think I'm going to touch base with him today and ask him.
Yeah, no.
All right, so that Bobby's category was won by Warren Fernandez.
Yep.
And that's the traditional under 80 category. Under 90 category was Danny Schneider. I trained Danny weekly on the newbie. And last week in New South Wales, he went in under hundreds at 92.5.
Yep.
So I know he didn't force his weight down either. His body just really sped up on him. And we had a quick chat and I said, just let it roll. Just see how he goes the night of, morning of. And he weighed in 0.5 kilo under 90. And it was a good showing between Isaac, Sam, and himself. That's a good top 3. But Danny's too good. Yeah, like standing at the top of a weight category in the
Yeah.
condition that he was bringing to this year.
Yeah.
He was undeniable in that show.
Well,
over the weekend.
the bottom end that he's got is next level, man. Like literally, like
It's pro quality already.
Yeah, it's like it's been unbolted off a horse or something, that one. So yeah.
It's funny too, because that motherfucker that got bigger during prep. His whole lower body just grew the whole prep.
Yep.
Look, all he's going to do now is just keep trying to improve his upper body to match those legs. As soon as his upper body matches the legs, he'll turn pro. It's under 90s.
Yep.
All right, we know who won the under 100s.
Yep.
Evie. To Ariel, who come in third, and Rago. That was a close. I think Evie was a standout. I think 2 and 3 could have flip flopped, depending on what side of the judging table you're looking from.
Yeah.
But look, I know I spoke to Sam, who coached Ariel a couple of days after the show.
Yep.
And Ariel was in good spirits. Like,
yep.
He was happy how he looked. He was happy with the condition he brought in. He knows what he has to improve on for the next one. So moving on. Super heavyweights, which was the show, like it was in New South Wales. Clear top 3. Mike Pearson, Chris and Liam. Liam from 2 years ago has gotten bigger and harder again.
Yes.
Like, he just keeps doing what he's doing.
Exactly.
He's soon going to be unstoppable. Just
needs to be patient and just needs to just let that weight creep up nice and gently, and don't force it, because it's coming on beautifully. I mean, the dude's arguably, man, he's arguably one of the strongest, if not the strongest bodybuilder in the country, man. Dude, the weights this guy lifts is fucking stupid, literally.
Yeah.
You know, so take your time, brother. You're killing it.
Yeah, I was really impressed with his improvements. Chris got better from the week before.
So why do you reckon they flipped that round? I want to put you on the spot.
Look, I think if I was about to say
before you answer,
if anything, I think they pushed his condition too hard and he dropped out too much size.
Okay.
He's way more conditioned than last week, like fucking way more conditioned. But I think it took away from the extreme shape advantage he had over Mike.
Right.
And he wasn't. He couldn't compare, like where last week he could compare size-wise to Mike, because he was fuller and Mike spilled over. So whereas this week they sucked Chris down hard and he was fucking shredded, but Mike didn't spill over, which gave him more of his shape back, gave him that illusion of, like, you know, when you spill over, you almost look like you melt. Yeah, because he was able to stay harder. Being harder on stage, obviously, a little bigger, and he could show off more of his strengths. Where I think last week he just got exposed by Chris hard. Yeah. And look, it was a good week to have it happen because he got to reverse the result at Nationals. So hats off to him. He could have imploded that week, but he didn't.
No, it's a good answer. I mean, look, because the reason what I was going to say to you, prefacing that, was, he beat Mike the week before, not in 100% condition, right? And obviously he won it on structure and shape and all that sort of stuff, which is fair enough, right? And then I was just wondering why that wouldn't have occurred the following week if he was better. But that's a good answer. I mean, maybe just, you're right, the fullness that he didn't have from it. I didn't see it, so I can't speak from
this. And the thing is, look, everyone says it in person. Like, the first thing that comes out of someone's mouth when they speak about Mike on stage is "fuck, he's big."
Yeah.
And that doesn't really come across over the video, over the live stream, over photos. In real life, he's much bigger than everybody else. So I think that would have been one of the, not the only reason, but one of the reasons. Plus, a lot of the judges were very similar judges to the week before.
Yeah.
And human improvement, like, if you improve from one show to the other, you get rewarded. You know, and it happens across the board. So, look, whatever him and his coach did obviously worked. And their credit's more. But I think I think after that win, he thought he had the pro card in the bag. Thoughts?
As I said, like I like Mike, and you know, in size, he's huge, man. He's just big. But you know, when it just, as I said, it comes down to it, bodybuilding is always going to be about the person with the fewest weaknesses. And I think that's where, you know, Eddie won this, was on the fact that, you know, he probably just has fewer weaknesses to it. Mike's got some absolutely imposing parts to him that are just ridiculous. And anyone that's 120 plus kilos in grainy condition, that's a monster of a human. But man, when you're dealing with overalls like that, you're dealing with you know, tenths of you know, that's what you're dealing with here. You're not dealing with, you know, huge amounts. It could just be a couple of small bits. It might just be a pose or two. It might just be, you know, maybe I'm just being hypothetical. You know, maybe Ebby got him from behind on 2 poses. It could be something very similar like that, because, and then all of a sudden, you know, he gets him by 1 pose overall, and then that's the win. You know, that's how it can happen. So who knows exactly what it was? I didn't see it in person. I did see it on the screen. So
look, it could be as little as right after the heavyweights finish posing, they get on for the overall.
Yeah.
So Ebby's had about 15, 20 minutes to recharge the batteries.
Yep.
Mike rolls on dead fucking tired.
Yep.
Because he just battled it out to flip the decision from the week before. So it's like, anyway, hats off to him. You know what I mean? You take advantage of whatever situation you get given. And he slammed it home. But yeah, nah, look, the show is good. I don't know how I feel about a 2-day show. Like, I know personally, if I was going down, especially after like our big weekends, the weekend before at the New South Wales show, I'd like to see it all in one day and then get home and not have to spend the weekend like there. But look, I understand the show is big. The show takes a long time. Football's on that weekend. Who knows? I will go to next year's Nationals though.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to it traveling either.
They should have them in Queensland anyway. That's the answer. But yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
So anyway, how's your training go? I'm not talking about the girls. If you want to listen to see what happened with the girls, go listen to Jess's podcast or something. We're not talking about the girls. Actually, Tim's got a good girl podcast.
Who has?
Tim McKinnon.
Has he?
I'm sure he'll be talking about the girls, yeah. Since Tim can't put no more size on, he just talks about girls.
Oh, he's retired, is he?
Apparently hasn't got it. I tried to G him up last week about getting big again. So I think we just might have to spike his drink with some test.
Training and nutrition.
When I get like this heavy, I kind of try and take it off, but I'm not like, I'm leaning for how heavy I am. Well, I looked up what weight I was this time last year. This time last year, I was in really good shape too, because I was planning on doing season A back in June. But I was anywhere between like 112 and 116. And 127 now. So
ridiculous.
But that's like, I'm like, my core's still not being able to be trained post-op, but there's veins all through my stomach, all through my legs.
Are you supposed to get back control over this midsection? Like, is that?
Yeah, it'll come.
It will.
It'll come. I've only got maybe from like 2 inches from the belly button down and about 1 inch up from the belly button that I can't feel anymore. Yeah. But like that's kind of like the centerpiece. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I can't really do nothing. I can't get into any sort of core training. I was going to start on Monday 2 days ago, but I thought I'm going to push it. I'll push it back to next Monday. And I just bought like a program online from a lady that helps out postnatal women.
Right.
So I'm doing an 8-week course that she does with them. And then she's got a male course that kind of leads into. So it's another 8 weeks. So about 4 months. I'm hoping by Chrissy time, by January time, I'd like to call like everything 100% and then really see what it looks like. And then go from there. Look, I'd love to do a show, but I can't, like, I just don't get enough rest. If I could fix my whole sleep pattern, I could do it. But I know around the pointy end, 4, 5, 6 weeks out, if I not get my sleep, I'll be fucked.
Yeah, I don't know what to go is, mate. This weight gain thing must be like I put some weight on myself. I don't know what I haven't really done anything exciting to see it happening, but maybe I'm just getting fat. Who knows?
Yeah, but you're not. So that's a good thing. You know what I mean? So, and I think if it was uncomfortable weight, you'd pull it off. Like, don't get me wrong, this is still uncomfortable weight, but I'm still managing okay.
100 kilos is uncomfortable for me, like thereabouts. I've only got a couple of kilos under that at the moment, but yeah, I don't know. I don't like really being heavier than that anymore. Getting too old for it, to be honest.
Did you change your training or anything like that?
Yeah, I shortened the sessions a little bit, and I'm doing pretty much six movements in each workout, pretty much, and it's taking me, well, not pretty much, definitely that's what I'm doing. And I'm meticulous with the timing, obviously, I'm like, so I'm knocking the sessions over in anywhere from 60 to about 70 minutes max. Like most of them are about 60 minutes, but that's flat out. And I know I've done it because there's no, it's rest has been adhered to properly. So I put it down to that. I think my appetite's bigger as well, but I don't really understand. I'm not doing anything different to, who knows? And I'm not particularly sleeping any better. So,
yeah, I don't know. It's not a bad problem to have. I'm sure many people would like that problem. Yeah, I don't know. It's that number, like those that are around like yourself, 95 up to that 100.
Yeah.
Like once you get closer to that 100, you really, really feel it, especially like whether it's bad weight or good weight. If you're not used to being close to that 100 mark and you sit around 95, you get to 100, it's a bit of a hit, like especially as it's getting hotter and that for you guys.
Well, back in the day, man, I used to always complain when I was sort of in that 100, just over 100 range. I was to piss and moan about it. I hated it. So, but it was a necessary evil at the time. And to be honest, unless I was doing a show, which I think is safe to say I'm retired, there's no real need, So.
Yeah, no. My whole plan post-op was to drop weight. But my body just didn't move. Like and I haven't been trying to put weight on. I've just been trying to train harder, slowly each week. And I think my training's just been really consistent. That's why.
Yes. So, what else? It's an interesting time of year, isn't it, with the comps and stuff, right? Obviously, because we touched on this yesterday. We get the armchair experts coming out. We get all these things and stuff like that, and we know we love this area, right? So, the bloke that preys on the athlete that's vulnerable, tired, hungry, insecure, feeling, not confident, telling him he should eat McMuffins or something like that before he gets on stage because it will help with the pump.
Yeah, basically, just wait this comment.
Like, well, why? I've got a question. If you're one of these fucking hobbits that do this, right? Why do you do it? Like, you people that do this, right, have never really ever won a show. And if you've done a show, you've never done it well. You've never really coached anyone well, but you're the one that just goes in their ear. Like, if a person hasn't eaten fucking McMuffins for 20 weeks, why are you going to give them McMuffins 5 minutes before they get on stage? Like, I just want to understand that. And also, I also want to understand why you would undermine someone's confidence between them and undermine anything that they may have with their coach at the time by telling them something nonsense like that to act like a big shot. I mean, please enlighten me, Jimmy, here. Like, we deal with this every year. I mean, let's go back. Remember Rach White, obviously, arguably the best female athlete we've seen in this current time, truthfully, right?
Hey, have you seen she's been putting up some throwbacks lately?
Oh, no, yeah.
I think she got a little bit of something left in the tank.
Well, you know what? If anyone can do it, she can. But I remember before she won the Pro Cup that morning, I had some muppet coming up to me going, "She should eat McMuffins this morning, McMuffins." And I'm going, "Why?" Because the sodium and the fats and stuff. I'm going, "Oh, that's really measurable." I said, "So how can you tell how much sodium and fats are in these McMuffins?" "Oh, well, it tells you on the packet." I said, "Right." I said, "So do you actually believe what the ingredients are to McDonald's?" That's my question, number one. So you're going to base your analysis and your protocol moving forward based on what you think is in that McMuffin, and based on that dude with the hand net with the pimples that's throwing that shit together back there. That's my question.
Look, I think it's because they see a lot of that shit. Like that's all over the internet now. It's all over YouTube. It's kind of cool to be doing that too. However, like you said, if it hasn't been a part of what you've been doing, and you don't know how your body reacts, I wouldn't do it. That's literally Russian roulette. You know what I mean? Like, and I know those that do it. See, even when I used to do, you used to load us up very clean, right? But just say, for instance, I needed to have something a little bit more because shit was going through me or things sped up too much, whatever, right? There'd be a fucking bunch of data that we've had from our weekly cheat meals that we would know this sits well, this does that, and you'd only go to it like when the proper way is not working. Because but in saying that, no one has enough muscle to eat that much shit food anyway, or they don't get lean enough to get away with eating that shit food that close to a show.
Either one of those is the magical answer. Number one, both of those is what the answer is. Yeah.
But even on the weekend, right? And look, I'll say this, but there's obviously throughout the whole show, people were in incredible shape.
Yeah.
But there was, I won't say majority, but there was a fair amount of people that looked way better 2 weeks before the show than on show day. Why?
Well, we can lead into the next topic with this one if you want to. The perfect little fucking entry point.
Tell me what.
Okay, so I love this one, right? Every athlete on the planet, well, actually, I'm not going to say every athlete. It's not true, but I'm going to say 90%, 95%. How are you looking? Oh, I'm flat. Oh, yeah. So flat's a default mechanism, right? You're flat. So my question is, for the average athlete that actually doesn't know what real condition is, or actually isn't in real condition, I'm not being a prick here. I'm just stating an obvious point. You can't identify that you're not in shape, but you can actually identify that you're flat. That's my question. And why is it that everyone's flat? You're not flat. You're either fat or you're just not where you should be, right? So this brings into this other thing. I'll have some chips and it'll make me pop, or I'll have the McMuffin or the pavlova make me pop. If you're not in shape, nothing's popping. So moral of the story, get in shape, get really lean.
Do you know the only person that I've ever seen like significant junk food work for them?
Yeah.
12 seconds before they go on stage is Aaron Pilates. I remember at FitX, 2014, Logan feeding him a whole pavlova.
I saw that.
Right? And that cunt went on stage inside out, full as a bull, skinless. I'll preface that with, guess what?
What?
10 years later, he's a pro.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that means he could get himself in shape so his coach can get away with doing that.
Correct.
And not spilling over.
Right.
Every single other person on that show that did that would have spilled over.
So concentrate on getting in shape is the answer. Like,
imagine Mark Gretsch having a pavlova before going on stage.
Yeah, but Gretschy was never in shape to have a pavlova.
That's what I mean.
I've seen him eat Skittles backstage too. And I said, "What are you fucking doing?" He's eating Skittles. I said, "What for?"
I've never been interested in eating lollies or chocolate backstage. That makes no sense to the brain.
No, you've gone that long, you know. I remember sitting backstage in 2018 and I was getting tanned and I hadn't eaten. You flipped.
Oh, sorry.
I hadn't eaten, I don't know, man, since mid morning or something or other. And by this stage, it was like mid-afternoon. And Andre Chederos is going, "Don't eat anything. You just look perfect." I'm starving. He goes, "Just don't fucking eat anything." Right. And that's just what you did. You know, if you looked right, then that was the way it was, you know. And meanwhile, you got people beside you eating salt and vinegar chips and stuff. I remember, I'm not going to name him because I love him, but I'm not going to name him. And he was, and you know how much of a prick I am backstage anyway, right? And he was just sitting there eating salt and vinegar chips. And I said, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Just eating the chips." I said, "What for though?" He goes, "You know, to make me pop." And I just said, "Dude, you should have dieted, man, first. That's what I would have worried about." And he just like looked at me and goes, "Really? You're going to say that to me 5 minutes before I go on stage?" I'm just like, "Well, someone needs to."
Yeah. Look, you almost want to go on stage a little bit flatter.
We talked about this in the 2 episodes ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'd rather be a solid 95%.
Yeah.
As opposed to trying to eat up into 100 and finish up at 101.
Yeah. Well, there is no 101 because it's a free fall back down the other side, back down to about 75. So,
but, you know, that's a fair rant. How would people, Chris, go about? All right. Okay. The biggest thing that stopped people getting in shape is them thinking they're flat or they're getting too small.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What would be your advice to say, like, how to get past that mentally?
Okay. Number one, you need to eat the calories you need to eat to get lean. So a couple of years ago, some bloke came up with this metabolic damage nonsense, which was just basically metabolic adaptation would be a nicer way of saying it that doesn't sound so fearful. And then all of a sudden people started talking about having pride about, I brought my bikini girl in on 2,500 calories. Yeah, but she was doing 8 hours cardio a day to do it. Like, no big deal. And then all of a sudden it became this thing on bring them in as high calories as possible. Sure, that's the most optimal outcome. But Jimmy, if you need to eat 1,500 calories to get in shape, that's what you have to do, right? Mm-hmm. And people are just getting too caught up in, I'm hungry, or I'm eating, I can't go lower than this. That's what the problem is.
I remember they used to speak about it as like some sort of abusive client.
That's the point. That's what it got to. And then it just got to the point where people just man, I remember 2013, right, was the first Australians that I won. Okay. I remember distinctly, man, I was in the last week, I did 2 intermittent fasts, which I mucked around with back in the day, right? 2 intermittent fasts, I think on a Monday and the Wednesday. I was depleting, I think, at the time. And during that first 3 or 4 days of deplete, I was eating, I think, 1,500 calories, something like that, maybe high 14s or something. Now, I was in the best condition. I ended up winning the show, right? Best condition I was in, right? But the bottom line is I did what I had to do to win, right? So no one's going to sit there and go and tell me, hey, listen, eating 1,500 is going to win you the show, but you can eat 1,700 for the sake of saying that you're a good coach and you came in on 1,700 and lose the show. I'd rather win. And then afterwards take care of your
metabolic damage.
take care. Eat your way out of the metabolic damage. Simple as that.
Look, if you're going to do if you're going to do everything else you do, getting ready for a show, and then you're going to start squabbling about, or worrying about eating a little less calories than the person next to you, like, fuck, who gives a shit? Like, and plus, you got to understand too, some people don't come into the contest prep the same shape as everybody else. Yeah, so like, what if you treated off season like it was a prep? You come in off an off season eating 5,000-6,000 calories, yeah. You drop to 4,000, fuck, you're in a mad deficit. Right. But if you come into a prep off the bench, eating like Macca's for lunch and KFC for dinner, you're having a hard time at the end of that prep. Regardless, do off season better next time. Like, I don't know.
Well, the athlete has an obligation to, have to put themselves in the best possible position to commence a prep. Like, man, how many times have you just been delivered at 20 weeks out? Someone that's just obese, and they just look at, yeah, I'm ready to prep. Well, you only got 20 weeks. Yeah, that's plenty. I don't think so. Do you know what I mean? Like, people's level of delusions. It works both ways. With women, it's amazing because women are worried about putting on weight. So it's always the battle of the opposite direction. Whereas men, it's always the other way around. Oh, and this is the other great one. Remember the default number? No matter who you ran into on the street, walking down the Gold Coast, no matter who you ran into, it was 105. Yeah, 105. What the fuck's 105? Like, why 105? Like, what was that? Why was that the number? Right? And like, dude, it was like they've got this predisposition to this weight and this attachment to this weight. And then the other good one is, oh, yeah, I'm not going to jump on stage until I'm 100 kilos on stage. Good, you'll never do a show.
I was having this conversation with someone today. I don't think that people understand how big 100 kilos on stage is.
100's enormous.
Like,
enormous.
Like, this is a thing too. Even if they're 95 kilos, I reckon we'd get you down to under 90 for the show. Nah, 95. I mean, do you know how big 95 kilos in shape is? Like, Flex Lewis competed at 96. Like, you're not that big. Like, I understand frame and bone density and all that bullshit, right? Especially people with doing their first comp. They get the shock of their life because they're never as big as they think they are. Like, I've just started with a client, and he wants to compete at the end of next year. And look, if you're listening, dude, I'm not taking the piss out of you. It's just funny. And I did say this to your face, but when we had a chat before everything started, it was, I'll do anything it takes to get on stage. I'm going to do anything it takes, right? It's my life now. I'll do anything it takes. Okay, cool.
Got all the support in the world.
Everyone's right. Straight away, look, he's a little bit heavy. Obviously not insulin sensitive. I said, I want to get you there real fast. We'll just do like what you used to do back in the day. Couple week reset. Let's do a couple of weeks. High fat, no carb. 2 days in, calls me. I'm shaking. I can't stop shaking. I think it's the food. I need carbs. I'm like, dude, did you say you do it whatever it takes to get on stage? Okay, you can't follow the diet for 2 days.
That's right. There you go.
Like, yeah, I don't know. But listen, end of the day, I'd rather be on stage in shape than knowing I didn't do enough to get in shape, go on stage, not in shape, and then you're not going to get a result you want ever.
Well, here's another thought then, right? For anyone thinking about that, here's just a sobering thought for them, right? If you don't get it done and you're not in shape, remember this, you're going to be in your undies, right? The smallest undies, so you'll never wear undies like that anywhere else other than there, right? You'll be in front of 1,000 people, right? The lights will be shining on you, right? And one simple little dent on your body, you will look like a golf ball hole from about 20 meters away, right? And there's nowhere to hide. So if you're thinking about half-assing it, just think about that. When you're on stage, it's a really lonely place when you're fat.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I was on stage once and I wasn't happy with the way I looked, like literally. And I hated every minute of it. And you will not see one photo of that show anywhere on the internet because it pissed me off that much. And admittedly, my not being happy was probably better than most people's happy, but it was just not right.
Yeah. That's when you got standards for yourself, and plus your body is your business too.
Yeah, exactly.
So look, but I think what we're going to do now, we're going to wrap it up. That was insightful. If anyone got butthurt over that, then that just means it's not in shape.
If you got butthurt over it, it's about you.
Wait, we promised a tripod of the week.
Oh, did we?
Yes.
Oh God, why do we come in half done with this one, Jim?
No, I'll go on.
Oh, you got one? I can't.
Yeah. My
Tripod Trophy Award goes to...
I can't.
Yeah. Mike Pearson. I just don't like those. I don't like the posing antics on stage. Like he that motherfucker thought he was Hulk Hogan, right?
Oh, really?
Listen, he only got away with it because he won. If he comes second, he would have been double fucking arse clown tripod of the week. Like, and look, I'm reaching for a tripod of the week here, and that's the only thing that came to mind. That when I was watching that, I was like, come on, dude, like hit your fucking big impressive poses, and win the damn thing. Lucky he won the damn thing, because otherwise it would have been a little bit embarrassing, I think. But I don't think he would have cared either. So,
no.
I
don't think he'll care that you gave him the award either. I think he'll love that.
Yeah, well, he didn't get the pro card.
Yeah. Okay.
I wonder. I actually would like to know if he is going to just roll into season 8. That's what I would do if I was him. Like, you don't have that much more time to go to get the pro card and actually do some shit with the pro card. And like you're top of the pack right now.
100%. I would.
I'd just roll straight through.
If it was me, I would just. Yeah, I would for sure.
Because I don't see Chris competing in season 8. You know what I mean? I can really see Mike doing season 8 and actually winning. So
well, you think about this, right? If he does it now, he'll have time for a health phase, a sport and recovery phase, right? Then you'll have a time for a salad phase, and then he'll also have time for a aerobic phase, and then he'll be ready for a priming phase.
Oh my! I know. I must win.
I said it here.
Yeah, I agree. Every time my screen goes like that, someone tried to call me.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, but all right.
I had to shut all my shit off, so the screen.
Yeah, I should do that next week. But all right.
Yeah.
I will love you and leave you. I'll see you next week.
All right, bro.
All right, mate. See you later.
Bye-bye.
This has been This is Fitness. With over 60 combined years in the fitness world, Jimmy and Chris have walked the walk and are here to share what really works. Their passion is to explore new trends, dispel myths, and call out the stupidity within the industry. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. And we'll be back soon. But in the meantime, find Chris on social media at Chris Thomas Alpha Ethos and his website at alpha-ethos.com. Find Jimmy on social media at jimmysadak.designercoaching and his website at www.jimmysadak.com. See you next time on This is Fitness.